Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ChasePacks. My name is Chase. In today's video, we are going to cover the news that Pokemon has released their print numbers for the printing window of March 2025 until March 2026. We'll jump on PokeBeach. Obviously, PokeBeach brings us all the news. God bless you, PokeBeach. Let's bring up the article. So, the Pokemon Company has released its latest figures report revealing 10 billion cards were printed worldwide from March 2025 to March 2026. So if we scroll down here a little bit farther, they give us essentially this is the information that PokeBeach has gathered since like 2003 when they started. Unbelievable website, great information on here. Let's just start with 2023. 9.7 billion cards printed. 2024, 11.9. 2025, 10.2. 2026, 10 billion. So really outside of this 2024, 11.9 billion, 2023, 2025, and 2026 all have been reasonably close to 10 billion cards, which essentially proves like the fact how Pokemon has, let me switch you over here, that Pokemon has been, they stated last year that they were printing at full capacity, which I believe they are. Like I don't want to call it conspiracy theory, like the thought that Pokemon isn't printing as much as they could or they should because they want to keep demand high. I think that's bullcrap, to be honest with you. I don't think that's true at all. I think they would put out millions more cards if they could. I think they're running at full capacity. I believe them when they say that. And I think that's why they bought the Millennium Print Group. And that's why they're going to, 1.27 million square feet of additional print space. I think they bought that because they know they're printing at full capacity and it's not going to be enough. We know the hobby's getting bigger and bigger, more and more money moving into the hobby, more and more collectors, investors moving into the hobby as well. So print capacity is an issue for Pokemon. It's pretty obvious. Pokemon would not go out of their way to buy that additional square footage for printing if they didn't need to. And it's kind of, I'm going to guess for a lot of people, these numbers, if you think about it a certain way, if you look at these numbers, and again, if you think about it a certain way, when Pokemon tells you that they're printing at full capacity and you see, 10 billion, 10.2 billion, even 11.9 billion, and then 9.7 billion over the last 3 years, it's pretty obvious that they're kind of printing as much as they can. Because here's the thing, Pokemon wants to make money. If they could print more cards and sell them into the demand that there is and take away some of that margin from the secondary market, I'm sure they would do that. So, I guess we'll have to wait till 2028. I know, I think they said the printing, the Millennium Print Group will be fully operational by 2028. I'm guessing part of it will be operational by 2027. I think that's when it's going to quote unquote open. So we'll see. I would not be surprised at all if we are still in this bull market by 2027. I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. The longer and longer we go in this bull run, just the more and more I feel like it has the potential to continue for a year, 2 years. There are some scary things in the hobby that's happened recently that kind of makes you feel like, oh, well, we're getting up there in these, with some of these sales. Like I made a video about the Bubble Mew Black Label selling for $230-some thousand. The, there's plenty of examples, but my point is here that the hobby's getting bigger and bigger. Everywhere I go, I'm hearing about Pokemon. I was watching the Iced Coffee Hour. I cannot remember that dude's name. They were interviewing Chris something. Damn, I can't remember his name. Anyway, had him on the podcast, and actually, now that I think about it, he was like, I don't know if he was a partial owner of Collecticon, investor, something. He was a part of the sale of Collecticon, and essentially the dude's just an investor. Does that for a living. And they were talking about Pokemon cards. He was giving his opinion on why he thinks it's a great collectible and a great asset class and all these different things. And it's the longer we go on, the more I see celebrities getting into Pokemon cards, the more you get on these, these finance podcast and they're talking about Pokemon as asset classes, eBay, Fanatics, GameStop moving money into Pokemon. It's like, yeah, I think Pokemon sees the writing on the wall and they are looking to expand and have that, at least have that availability to print more cards and meet more demand. Because when this thing inevitably does slow down, go flat, retrace, go down, whatever you want to say, I think the net, like the amount of collectors, investors, overall people in the hobby who are going to be here that came are going, it's just going to be bigger, right? 2023, 2024, the hobby was smaller. 2025, 2026, probably into 2027, more and more people are going to come in. But when that, whatever, that downturn happens, I think less people are going to leave, obviously, than who were here 3, 4, 5 years ago. So that's my opinion. So I think Pokemon sees that. Again, they're smart people. They are a brilliant business. They've been handling that company flawlessly, essentially, since 1999, at least here in the US. So I think they see the writing on the wall and they know that they need to expand. They need to print more cards because essentially they want to make more money. They want to get the cards in more kids' hands. They want to build their future clientele, their future customers. They want those kids to grow up, have disposable income, be able to buy the cards, whatever year that is, 2040. It's like they're setting themselves up. And they're honestly, if you really look at how they maneuver through bull markets, through bear runs, I think they're just getting better and better, to be honest with you. But let me know down in the comments, how do you feel about it? 10 billion cards printed in between March of 2025 and 2026. Not the most printed in the last 3 years, which is somewhat surprising. I guess that the early part of Scarlet and Violet was pretty slow. A lot of those sets were not desired at all, really until Twilight Masquerade, Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions. Get down in those comments. Let me know. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Catch you in the next one.